Hi. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so hi. I am filming the intro to this via voice memo because there is a fire alarm going off across the street right now, and I do have to film the intro clip right now before I lose the sunlight. So, hey. Happy Great Big Beautiful Life release day to those that celebrate. I'm so excited. I figured since my roommate and I already had the plan to go pick up a copy tonight, I figured why not turn it into a cute little spend a spring evening with me situation. So, hey, welcome to a spring evening with me. I got home from work a little bit ago and we ended up talking for a while. Didn't really mean to do that, but now it is 6:12 p.m. and the bookstore that we're going to closes at 7. So really quickly, I'm making a grocery list because we are going to stop at Trader Joe's on the way home, but then we are going to head to the Ripped Bodice, which is one of my favorite local indie bookstores, and pick up a copy of Miss M. Hen's latest book. And I actually have a feeling that this could be towards the top of my list of her books ranked. I'm scared because that is a very high expectation to put on a book at the outset, but it's just kind of how I'm feeling because it has a little something about it. So who else is excited but also scared but also really excited? Anyways, I have my little meal planner situation, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish planning out the groceries I need. I'm only gonna get the stuff I think for like a chickpea pasta salad and maybe smoothies. I don't know, I need to decide. I'm gonna finish planning this out really quick and then I think we're gonna go ahead and go because we are burning daylight and also the store does close in like 45 minutes and I don't want them to hate us. So I'm gonna do this really quick. Okay. That's really cute. Free Pinkberry as well.
Yay! And pop sockets.
And pop sockets.
And
we got the third to last and the second to last. But like
it was meant to be.
The stars were aligning.
The stars were aligning. Got a lot of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Wait, like, I'm here for like 3 days. These are so good. Have you had these? The egg bites?
No.
You haven't had these?
No. What's the flavor?
There's
Oh wait, they're your unexpected cheddar.
yeah, and turkey sausage.
Laura just did a pop-up in Washington Square Park. Lord Summer is coming. She's just dancing. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually not hungry at all because of the Pinkberry. To the point where I actually kind of feel a little sick. And I was going to at least cook dinner. Like I was gonna cook dinner, which was probably gonna be like a turkey burger, strawberries and sweet potato fries. And then I was gonna meal prep chickpea pasta salad to take for lunch tomorrow. But right now the idea of that's making me feel sick. And I know it's just because I just had frozen yogurt on an empty stomach. So like, I'm feeling so ill right now. I need to like drink some water or something. But I know I'm gonna be mad at myself if I don't make the pasta salad because I have plans tomorrow night, so I'm not gonna do it tomorrow night. Then I'll have bought all of this stuff for no reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Not the free pink berry foiling my plans for the evening. Dressing. Healthy. Also, I forgot cucumber, so. Oh, and olives. Oh, and onion. That's. What are you doing? New crew neck, courtesy of Crystal, my friend Crystal. Thanks, Crystal. Okay. Are you gonna go and like against the camera immediately, or what's happening here? He's thinking about it. Okay, so that took a lot longer than I thought it would, and now is already close to time when I should be like winding down. And honestly, I'm kind of considering running a bath to start Great Big Beautiful Life, because I don't know, something about that just like feels like the vibe. So we might revisit that in a second, but I do have something that I want to do first, because this was supposed to be a reading for my priority TBR video. Like I was supposed to be tackling my 25 and 2025 list, okay? That did not happen. I read one of them. I was traveling this weekend and it did not pan out the way that I was hoping that it would. So, however, that being said, I didn't want to not document any of me reading the book that I just finished, because quite frankly, as of right now, it's my favorite book I've read so far this year. 5 stars, top of the list undoubtedly, like #1 currently. It could stay there for the rest of the year. So if this is gonna be my favorite book of 2025, she needs to have some kind of documentation, okay? I'm not just gonna like throw it in a Q2 wrap up and be like, oh yeah, I really liked this book. No. So, The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. Listen to this on audiobook, which highly recommend. I've already recommended it to, quite frankly, everyone that I know, and I got 2 people to actually start listening to it, which no better feeling than somebody actually consuming something that you recommended and then enjoying it, okay? Both of them have already texted me saying they're loving it. So, feeling on top of the world in that regard. Now, this is, if you're unfamiliar, a collection of essays. It's a nonfiction book. However, John Green, kiss your brain, okay? Kiss your brain, because so full of hope and heart and so human, but also I was learning about something in each essay. Basically, each essay is about a different topic. It just has to do with like living on a planet that is human-centered, obviously. And then he ends each chapter by sort of rounding everything together, like weaving together a personal anecdote with whatever the topic has been, like with whatever we've learned about it, and then he gives it a rating out of 5. I think what's so interesting about this book, and I saw it in one of the top reviews on Goodreads, is I think a lot of what people don't like in John Green's young adult books, like his style of like using a lot of quotes and using big words and like big brain concepts in his young adult novels, works so well in this. Like he is such a good storyteller. The way he weaves together concepts from the start of a chapter to the end, and it's like personal anecdotes. He's also teaching you about a concept that it doesn't even feel like you're being taught, like you're just kind of absorbing information. I could talk about this for a really long time, quite frankly. And if you are doubting, you would be the target audience for this, and you might not be, that's very fair. I encourage you to at least listen to the intro, because he had me, like genuinely immediately he had me. Tears left my eyeballs in chapter 1, in the intro, like not even in the first essay. So that is a feat and a gift, and I just am in awe. So now you might be wondering, hey, why are you talking about this? I finished listening to this on the plane this weekend. I went home to visit my parents over the weekend, and on the plane, I finished it on the plane to Texas. And I only had like a couple, I think I only had I had the last essay, which is the ginkgo tree, and then the postscript, which I think in the actual physical copy, which I do want to look at, he has like actual acknowledgements, or like for each essay he has like a section of notes about how the essay came about, and like personally thanks anybody that like influenced it in any way, and also like if he referenced anything in it, like personally acknowledges like that work, etc. And I want to go through and read those. He just something about this scratched an itch in my heart and my brain. Like both of them are just overwhelmed with how much emotion I have towards this book. So anyways, since I listened to it, I had to buy myself a physical copy post finishing it, and I want to go through and annotate. Maybe not every single essay. Like I think I want to do like a full reread at some point, like maybe slowly over time, but I know for sure, like I wrote down the essays that impacted me the most in the moment. I want to underline some stuff in the intro, obviously, because that had me right away and I was crying. Like the end of the intro, live your life, live your life, live your life. Okay. Also, the run of, I think the order is Academic Decathlon, Sunsets, and oh, what's his name? Jersey Dudek's. Jersey Dudek's performance on May 25th, 2005. Sunsets, the end of Sunsets, full body chills, crying. Okay, so there's that, and then Audlon, however you say, for some reason I can never say this out loud. The song that's like, there's no to be forgotten. I literally printed it out. I printed out some scrapbook paper, scrapbook sheets to cut out tonight. Should auld acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Basically the song that's sung on New Year's. There's an essay about that, like the origins of it and the meaning of it, etc. And also how it relates to his life. Fully sobbing. The audiobook specifically, the ending of that essay is slightly different on the audiobook versus in the physical book. Bawling on the way to work. Okay, so John Green, your mind is really powerful. Your heart is so big, and I love the way that you look for people's capacity for hope and love and joy. So anyways, I would like to go through and underline some things. Truly like a new all-time favorite, and I would have been remiss not to dedicate at least a portion of any video talking about it. So I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and do some underlining. And then also, like I said, printed out a couple sheets of things. I don't think I have it in me to like actually do the scrapbooking tonight, but I might watch an episode of something before I hunker down with GBBL and do some cutting out of items, which I literally, if you look at this page, I mean, I made a page that has, which is just like really sad. I really need to get to work. A page that has all of the books I've read so far this year and like duplicates of the ones that I'm gonna put on my monthly favorites page in my scrapbook. And then I'm also going to do a dedicated page for the Anthropocene reviewed. Like I literally today, like while I was making these scrapbook pages, I was just thinking about the fact that I am so grateful that I had this experience, but also I wanted to have an experience like this again. Like I want to find more books that make me feel like this. And so I literally Googled books that feel like the Anthropocene reviewed, and I read an article on it, and I added some of them to my TBR. So that's where we're at. It's just crazy because like usually like I genuinely, overwhelmingly, I would say I'm not super interested in nonfiction, just because it's very hard for a nonfiction book to hold my attention long enough for me to finish one all the way through. I do think that audiobooks are the solution to that. Like I think truly if I'm gonna get all the way through a nonfiction book, it's probably gonna have to be via audiobook. So this was like the perfect recipe for that. Also just John Green's a great storyteller. He has a great voice. Like I don't know if you watched Crash Course in high school, you would know. You would know. He's just great. Anyways, I'm giving it a dedicated page. Like I printed out a large photo, a little banner, and then also printed out a sunset, the lyrics to Auld Lang Syne, poster for Harvey, and a picture of the world's largest well of paint. Anyways, to start, I'm gonna do some underlining, and then probably we'll move into the living room for cutting out. Oh, and if you're wondering what this other page is, I just did like a little collage of cute, like aesthetic things that are sort of my vibe right now on my Pinterest, or either like my me page in the front, or there's like a page that I left towards the front of my scrapbook for just like general collaging. So I might do that, but I think either way, I probably won't like commit to doing anything tonight. I might like lay it out and see what it's looking like. But I think I'm just gonna do the actual like therapeutic cutting of the materials. So, but look at this. Isn't the overall vibe of this so nice? It's really nice. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna read John Green's words in the email for a second, so, okay. Hey. Okay, so everything's cut out and I don't have the patience nor the bandwidth to actually put it in the journal. So everything is just clipped in the front and I still haven't made any progress beyond what I showed in the last vlog. Oh my gosh, but can add the Anthropocene Reviewed to my book log, which is exciting. So I'm gonna do that. Now it's turning into a very Anthropocene Reviewed centric, Anthropocene Reviewed centric vlog. We're now at 10 books so far for the year, which is a lower number than I would like. My goal for the year is at like I'm like 7 or 8 books behind schedule at this point, but you know what? The Goodreads reading goal overall is arbitrary and I can catch up at any time, okay? I just haven't been focusing on it because I don't want to stress myself out about reading. It's a fun hobby and pastime, lest we forget. Oh my gosh, and I can check it off. Wait, I can also check it off on my 25 in 2025 list. So I'm gonna bubble her in. I'm also going to shade in the progress tracker. You can't tell, there are now 2 bubbles bubbled in. So I've only read 2 from 25 and 2025. It's really unfortunate. Like I said, the goal, whoa, TV screensaver just started. Whatever, I'm about to move, so it's okay. The goal was to read 3 from this list this week. Obviously we're pivoting because Great Big Beautiful Life, obviously. So that's really unfortunate. I'm prioritizing it soon. I started Mexican Gothic and I wasn't minding reading it. I just was having trouble like locking in. I wasn't 100% in the mood for it. So I was like, let me just switch to the audiobook. Once I finished Anthropocene Reviewed, I needed a new audiobook. And so I started listening in the car today. I'm so sorry, I'm not vibing with the narrator. I had to stop it. I was like really not vibing. I was like, if I want to give the book a real chance, I have to have an audiobook with a narrator that I don't mind or like, and that was not happening with that. So anyways, it is 10:42. I'm gonna do the closing shift in my apartment really quick and then we're gonna start Great Big Beautiful Life. And I will tell you what it's about because I realized I have been talking about this book the entire duration of this vlog and I have not once said what it is. Okay. It's time. It is so much later than I intended to start reading this, but We're about to embark on what is one of my favorite feelings in the whole world, which is starting an anticipated release, first of all, but also just entering the world of an Emily Henry book. Like, there's something that just is so special about getting to read a book from your favorite author, because even if you don't connect with the story specifically, being in their writing again, it's so fun. And I'm just very excited for that. That being said though, like I said earlier, I do think based on what I know about the premise of this, I do think it could be towards the top of my list. Now, I do know the dangers of that, of having those kinds of expectations of a new book from an author you love, because it does not always play out like that. I liked Funny Story a lot, but it ended up being more of a 4.5 star read, I think, for me. Maybe more like 4. I should reread it though. I also was thinking about this earlier today. Like, I kind of feel bad for authors like Emily Henry. Not that I'm like, I don't think that she achieved success like quickly by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I think her young adult novels were actually pretty successful before she started writing adult romance, but Beach Read was her first foray into adult romance, and she published that in 2020. And then every single year since, she's published an adult romance book, and she has a huge fan base that I feel like is obsessed with her and has very high expectations for the books that she puts out, which, like, so fair. But I feel like specifically with like Book Talk and Booktube, there's like so much pressure, which is very interesting. I've been thinking about it a lot. So Emily, I love you. I do and would read your grocery list, and I'm very excited because while I do love just a classic contemporary adult romance, this sounds like if Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo had a baby with an Emily Henry book and The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, which I also loved. Basically, it's just giving that there's going to be like a lot more plot than usual. Like, there's always plot, obviously, but the premise of this, it's basically two authors competing to be the one to tell the story, like publish the life story of this really famous woman. I don't know what she's famous for. I don't know like anything really context-wise. I haven't watched anyone read it yet because I wanted to go in and form my own opinions. But Alice and Hayden. Alice is kind of like a baby writer, like she hasn't had any mainstream success yet, and Hayden is a Pulitzer Prize winning author. So Margaret basically tells them that they can both write pieces, and then she is going to judge who she thinks is better suited to write the story and publish it. So they're competing with each other. He, I think, is giving like grumpy, she's giving sunshine, I think, and it's competitive, and they're writers, and it's like woman with a mysterious elaborate past, you know, potentially like a mystery element as well, because I think she's kind of like lying and they have to piece together what the real truth of this woman's life is, I think. So I personally think that this is very much in my wheelhouse taste wise. I am prepared to be wrong, and that's okay, but I feel optimistic. I'm really, really excited. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I have my water, I have the ambiance set. I'm gonna find a playlist and cue that up, and then I was gonna light a candle, but I am feeling really tired because it is a lot later than I meant for it to be. So I might fall asleep while I'm reading, and I need to be prepared for that. But who knows, I also might stay up really late reading and have to force myself to go to bed, because that always happens with the new Emily Henry book. I just can't help it. Oh, I'm really excited. There's like no better feeling. Before I read this, if I can remember, or if I can find the last time I said my Emily Henry ranking, at this point it's been quite a long time since I've read Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation. I reread Happy Place last year, obviously read Funny Story first time last year, and then Book Lovers I read for the first time obviously 2 years ago. So, and I have the memory of a goldfish. So I did my best to rank them last year at some point. This is how it stands currently. All I know for sure is that Happy Place is number 1. We'll see. If she can dethrone Happy Place, that would be crazy. I also do need to reread Beach Read, because I feel like she could potentially also be number 1, and it's just been a really long time since I read it, because I think I read it in 2021. Anyways, I'm talking too much at this point. I wanted to start reading. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, I remember the other thing I was gonna say. Also, Emily has said, I think she said it in one of her like grocery list newsletter emails, that this book was inspired by the Taylor Swift song from Folklore. On the afternoon train. Last Great American Dynasty, which I love Folklore to this day. I think I would still say it's like my favorite album of all time. It's definitely in my top like 5, if not favorite album of all time still to this day. Also, I know this is like a weird thing to say because obviously they are 2 separate works, but to me Folklore Evermore are one line on my favorite albums list, so they do occupy the same space. I know they're two separate albums. I will not be discussing this further. I just wanted to let you know that that's where I stand on that. So anyways, I might just put on folklore if we're being honest, but I'm gonna look for a playlist really quick and then I'm gonna start reading. I'm so excited. Okay. Okay. For my mom and my 3 grandmothers. Life is complicated, your love never was. It's 12:36 a.m. on page 64, and I'm eating it up. So, it is, however, time for bed, so good night.